Welcome back to Spa-Francorchamps for the third and final race of round 4 of the Missed Apex iRacing F3 Cup Season 6. We're going to go straight into this one, in fact, straight to the grid. And I can tell you it will be John McClintock on pole position for this one. Alongside him on the front row of the grid will be Alex Smith. Remember, the driver who fought for his maiden podium at Silverstone earlier in the season. He starts on the front row. And then we have two of the Platinum drivers starting in the top 5. Tim Ellis in 3rd and Alex Jonesma in 5th. Watch out for them as they could be in with a shot of a victory here, with Stephen Taylor splitting them. Then Frick Smith in 6th. Terry Tylis and Andrew Sexton on row 4. Alexander Dobbetsberger and Luca Harrison on row 5. Expect them to come through the order as well. Then Colin Ward and Stephen Williams on row 6. Then James Braid and Danny Henney in 14th, followed by Spanners, Winfield, Callum McIntyre, Matt Cook, and Jose O'Donnell, our race 2 winner. Here come the lights now. We're about to get underway for the final race of the night at Spa-Francorchamps. It's lights out, and McClintock leads the field away, but it looks like Alex Smith got a very good start indeed. He's alongside going into La Source and could well be leading. He breaks deep, and McClintock comes back at him on the inside. Tim Ellis waiting in the wings as well. Drillsma has already made his way into 4th place. Watch out for them. By the time we get to Lacon, they will want to break away from the midfielders. So McClintock leads them up Eau Rouge for the first time. Here comes Alex Smith in the orange car on the inside, to the inside of driver's right towards Lacom. Ellis fighting for position as well, with Jonesborough and Dobbetsberger's come through the order as well. He's right in the mix. McClintock coming back at Smith round the outside for the lead of the race. And once again, McClintock finds himself getting pushed out wide in the middle of Lacom. We saw this in the last race as well. So Smith just about clings on to the lead. But behind them, we've got Ellis, Jonesborough and Dobbetsberger all fighting for position. They are going to need to be watching their mirrors.
All very clean once again there, Chris, and we had a little bit further back, we had Danny Henney making some progress through the field, coming up just behind Luca Harrison again, although Harrison has now jumped a couple of cars to give him some breathing space. These two will want to make sure they don't clatter into each other again. They are...
Dobbetsberger running a bit wide there in 5th place. And I think he's making the move on Jonesborough there. They're side by side in the middle of the Fagny chicane. So it looked like he was running wide and lost momentum, but he's actually going to make up place here into Stavilo for the first time, and Dobbetsberger's up into 4th place. But that's cost them quite a bit of time there to Tim Ellis, so Jonesborough could well come back at him. And Ellis, meanwhile, in 3rd, as we see there, making the move on McClintock for 2nd place. Ellis in the blue and yellow car through into 2nd there, and his next target will be Alex Smith, as still Jonesma and Dobbetsberger are not done disputing this 4th place spot. But Dobbetsberger now with the line into the bus stop secures that place. Terry Tyler fancied a bit of the action as well, but Jonesma was not going to let him through there. So at the end of lap 1, it's Alex Smith who leads, the silver class driver, by half a second to Tim Ellis, the platinum driver, and then John McClintock in 3rd place from pole position. Dobbetsberger in 5th place, then Jonesborough, Tylers, Harrison up into 7th place from 11th. Frick Smith and Colin Ward and Danny Henney into the top 10 from 14th on the grid. On board with Ellis as we rise up through Eau Rouge. Once again, he's closing down on Smith for the lead.
He's going to want to make this move stick nice and early, preferably on this lap, Chris, because the others are going to be bearing down on him from behind.
Yeah, we've got 3 wide in the middle of the pack, with Harrison coming through into 5th place on the way into Lacom. Fantastic stuff, but Tyler fancies it around the outside. Oh dear, contact with Harrison, and once again Harrison finds himself in the barriers with a damaged car. Here it is once again. He was on the inside of Lacom and just made contact there with Taro Tylers, and after a brilliant recovery in race 2, he once again finds himself in the pits and missing out on points.
And that looks like he's out of the race, so that is a big problem for him, as you say, Chris. Big drop in points. That is such a shame for him, because that's going to put his championship at risk.
I think, well, dare I say at this point, championship over for Luca Harrison, especially after we apply the drop score at the end of the next round. It's maybe been one too many incidents for Luca Harrison this season. and all at the wrong time as well. As we're on board with Dobbelsberger now, chasing John McClintock for third place. 5 seconds covers the top 7 at the moment. Still, we are seeing a really tight pack on lap 2 of 9 here. And look at Ellis. Look at Ellis now closing right up for the lead of the race on Alex Smith there as they come through Blanchimont. This could be the exchange for the lead here. Will he do it into the bus stop? So Smith is going defensive. Ellis very good on the brakes there, and he's not going to do it into the bus stop. He knows that Smith will come back at him down the Camel Straight, so Ellis waiting for his opportunity there.
And in the background you can see Dobbelsberger just hassling John McClintock in front of him. He knows that if Ellis gets the jump for the lead, he's going to start pulling away into the distance. And actually Dobbelsberger getting it all wrong there, going to the outside as he nearly clattered into the back of him. So he's really under pressure to make it stick.
Yeah, under pressure from Dronsma now as they rise up through Eau Rouge. But Tim Ellis now already onto the Camel Straight, and it looks like he'll be making his move for the lead as well, as Dronsma fancies a run at Dobbelsberger as well. Side by side, and he's just drawn a bit of an overlap. But I don't think that's going to be enough for him to go through into Le Carme. It would have to be a very good move on the brakes. Nope, can't go through there, and neither did Ellis actually on Smith for the lead of the race. So it's as you were.
At the front it was so close. Their wheels were overlapping at one point going down the straight. They left absolutely zero margin for error. So this is getting into a bit of a spicy battle at the end of the evening, Chris.
And we know how hard Smith can defend a podium at Silverstone in the reverse grid race. He was fighting for his first podium in the championship, and he could well score a second one here, because look at the gap to the chasing pack. And we're already a third of the way through this race pretty much. And if McClintock can continue to do a pretty stellar job of keeping these cars behind him, then that just increases Smith's opportunity to hang on to the podium position. On board with Joneswell once again, coming through the curve, Paul Frere. And McClintock might get a bit mugged here. Dobbelsberger makes his move side by side as they go towards Blanchimont, and Dronsma is carrying the double slipstream as well, but he's boxed in. He can't do anything with it, so Dobbelsberger around the outside of Blanchimont. He'll have the line into the bus stop chicane, and this could be third place for Dobbelsberger. Dronsma will try and follow him through as well. McClintock runs out wide. Dobbelsberger is through. Can Dronsma follow him through as well? Oh, he tried to stay alongside him there. McClintock edged him out towards the runoff area on the exit of the bus stop chicane. Dronsma now on the inside of La Source. McClintock locking up his brakes, and Dronsma is through into fourth place. So McClintock losing a couple of spots there. And look at Tara Tylers and Danny Henney joining the fight as well.
There could be no change for the lead, Chris, as they come through Eau Rouge. Ellis is right behind Smith.
Yeah, this could be the one. This could be the one. He was not that close to Smith coming down the back straight, but on the Camel Straight here, look at the overspeed he's drawn. He's got his car all the way alongside, but he can't cross the nose there. Smith holds his ground and just about avoiding contact there. There was a car in the gravel as well that I'm sure would have spooked them as well, but Ellis is through into the lead.
Once again, fantastic close racing there. Not a cigarette paper between them.
Brilliant stuff. Ellis claimed his first victory of the season in the feature race. Now he's on course for his first victory of the season, and only his second in the F3 Cup, which seems mad to say that about a driver of Tim Ellis's calibre, who was so quick in the Formula Renault Challenge and just hasn't amassed the wins that he did there in the F3 Cup. But it's not over yet, because Smith is still right on the back of him, and despite being the silver graded driver, he has been awfully quick this weekend, although a little mistake there just costing him a bit of momentum.
He has. I think Smith knows he has to get it done this lap to try and keep in that slipstream, so he's giving it absolutely everything, clattering the curbs, making him go a little bit squirrely on the exit there. He's not quite in slipstream for this lunge that we can see as...
Oh my goodness! Sorry to cut over you there, Chris, but Alex Dronsma almost caused an airplane crash with Taro Tylers towards Blanchimont. That was unbelievably close in the battle for 4th place there. Doppelsberger pulling clear now in 3rd place by 1.5 seconds. But this battle for 4th place really tight, and Jules were very late on the brakes into La Source, and almost didn't want to make the move, I think, there, because Tylus is coming back at him, and Danny Henny right behind them in this fight as well. So as we come up towards Eau Rouge once again, Smith not in contention for the lead on this occasion, but Gan Jones will hang on to this 4th place spot because Taro Tylus, another battle between the platinum and silver drivers here, just again showing the quality and the depth of field, because these drivers, when they get in amongst the leaders, they show no quarter. But Tylus has to hold station for now.
He didn't quite get the run coming up Eau Rouge, so I think he's going to have to back out, because immediately behind him, as you said, Chris, is Danny Henny, who's just going to pounce into this corner. That would be contact. There we go, Chris.
Oh!
And he's off. That is such a shame for Tylus there. He was doing such a good race, but now he's end up in the gravel trap and backwards.
Well, now the crucial question here is, has Danny Henny picked up any damage from that incident? And is that going to compromise his pace throughout the remainder of this race? Front wing looks okay, actually.
Yeah, it does look bent. I think it was wheel to side pod contact, so I think he'll get away with that one, Chris.
Well, that's Danny Henny's 2nd contact of the night after the feature race incident, so maybe this is not going to be the points haul of Kyle Power that he would have hoped for. So many different angles and different plot lines that have been developing throughout this championship, and people having one good feature race and then 2 bad sprints, or they have a bad feature and 2 good sprints, or they just have a mess of the whole night as well. It's been a real seesaw and a real to and fro, and this championship has really got us on the edge of our seats at the moment, and we're really coming up into the crunch time now with only 2 rounds to go. Here is Kyle Palmer, the championship leader, getting right in the thick of the action.
He is. He's up to 11th place, but he is absolutely squabbling now. 10th as he crosses the line over Frick Smith. And he's got Spanners in this battle as well, so there's 3 wide into La Source. That isn't going to go, surely.
Well, 1 car making the barriers there on the exit of the corner, but Power, as you say, up into 10th place. How long can he hang on to that spot for, though, because he has got Frick Smith right in his wheel tracks. Luckily, there's a car in the shape of Colin Ward, who's providing Power with a great slipstream here. So instead of coming under threat, he's actually making another move here. This will be for 9th place towards Lake Com, and Power, with a very late move under braking, gets it done and picks up another spot.
That's up to 9th. Great damage limitation there for Kyle Power. He does have a bit of a gap to Stephen Williams over 3 seconds, and I think with only 3 laps to go, I think that might be insurmountable. So 9th place might be the highest that he gets. He just got to pull a little bit of a gap to the squabbling cars behind, as Smith makes a great move on Colin Ward there.
Yeah, down towards Buon. This is lap 6 of 9, and yeah, that 3-second gap, as you mentioned, could be pretty insurmountable. So let's see what Spanners can do. Can he break into the top 10? He's in 12th at the moment. He's got Colin Ward. How many times have we seen these two going wheel to wheel over the last few years? They've had some great battles on track, and we could get another one here as Ward runs a little wide there on the exit of the Fanier chicane. Spanners has to pick his moment, though, because you won't go up the inside of Stavolo. We'll try and get him here on the run out of Curveball Fret. Running very, very close indeed, and nose to tail, and now Spanners with the line towards Blanchimont and gets it done before they even get to Blanchimont. So Spanners up into 11th place. He's going to have lock his eyes on Frick Smith, but he's got to defend into the bus stop first, though, and make sure that Colin Ward doesn't come back at him.
Yeah, got a little bit too friendly with that sausage curb on the inside there. That's going to give Colin Ward the run, and Colin Ward's going to go to the inside. Is he going to make a move? No, he thinks better of it, thinking of the slipstream. And actually, Spanners, I think, scared himself out of the corner there and has lost the position regardless.
Well, maybe he didn't want to Didn't want to be the car ahead because he's lost the slipstream from Frick Smith at this point. And look who's joined the fight as well. Gregoire Gomez in the car running his national colours. And he's closed right up on these two cars, I should say. Ward to the inside down the Kemmel Straight. Spanners and Gomez follow in his wheel tracks. And are we going to get 3 wide? Not quite, but Spanners very late on the brakes into Les Combes. That was a cracking move.
He couldn't have left it a centimetre later. That was absolute perfection there, and Gomez is going to go to the inside of Ward.
I know I made fun of his shoes, but it seems to be working for him.
Have we worked out what kind of shoes he's wearing?
Like not like racing boots.
Not wellies.
Like just shoes, just regular shoes. So that's 11th place regained for Spanners there. Although I dare say Gomez will mount a challenge on Spanners in the remaining 2.5 laps. Alex Smith up at the front of the field now, 1.2 seconds behind Tim Ellis in the lead. In turn, a couple of seconds ahead of Alexander Dobbelsberger, so the podium looking pretty locked in. Also, that Stephen Williams and Callum McIntyre are having a pretty cracking battle over 7th place at the moment. They're closing down on John McClintock as well while they're having this fight. Stephen Williams in the pink car there with McIntyre in the black, green and red. A little side-by-side towards Blanchimont. And McIntyre towards the outside of the bus stop. This is the most we've seen of McIntyre in a single night of F3 Cup action. Absolutely loving it. He's been providing some great clips for the social media at this point. So a great run once again, and he's going to be looking towards the inside of La Source. Does he want to be the car ahead coming out of La Source? Well, he does on this occasion.
Have John McClintock just within the slipstreaming window, so he might be okay there, but he is definitely going to be under pressure. And you can see the green of Kyle Power also steaming up behind. So this we said it was insurmountable with 2 laps to go. I don't think it is anymore.
That was very tight indeed, as Williams just about got out of the wheel tracks of McIntyre there in the nick of time at the top of Radion, and they're side by side once again towards Les Combes. McIntyre holds firm on the inside there and holds on to that 7th place spot. And McClintock must be loving seeing this in his mirrors, because it means that it's taking longer than it maybe normally would for them to close up on him with a lap and a half to go.
I am loving the new onboard shots that we're using, but I don't know how much of my heart can actually take any more of these onboard shots because they're getting awfully close to each other. That's just fantastic viewing. So we've got Callum McIntyre here, so he's about half a second behind. Let's see if he can draw himself in for the final lap.
Just thinking as well, Danny Henny in 5th place. This has got to be the first time in an awfully long time, and I could probably count the occasions this has happened on one hand. He won't get a podium tonight. He went into this with 22 podiums to his name in the F3 Cup, and he will leave here with 22 podiums as it stands. So leaders coming up to the final lap then, just coming out of the bus stop. Chicane is Tim Ellis, our race leader. As I mentioned, Ellis with a single win in this championship to his name. It will be his first of the season, and definitely has had the opportunity. Maybe hasn't had all the luck he needs to make it work all of the time, but he's certainly taken full advantage of the opportunity that's been presented to him today. Oh, as Kyle Power, in 9th place, has gone for a spin at La Source. Was that contact we saw with Frick Smith? We saw he was in that battle. We've just seen in the back of shot there. He's fallen down to 14th place. I didn't see what happened. I just saw him emerge on one of my screens sideways. So Henny may well not be on the podium, but at least he is outscoring Power once again.
Just checking on the replay, Chris. Unfortunately for Kyle, he will be fuming. It was a back marker who was trying to let them past and just left his nose in at La Source and just turned him round. So that is crucial for the championship there. Interference from the the back marker. That's such a shame. He wouldn't have wanted to do that, but he was just trying to keep out of the way, but unfortunately just didn't manage it on this occasion.
Well, of course, this time last season there was an incident at La Source that cost him a shot at the title. It was the finale last season in his battle with Danny Henny, and it seems like he's come a cropper at that corner once again. Luckily this time he has a 42-point buffer coming into tonight. I'm sure the championship order is going to be shaken up quite dramatically, with Henny probably closing in quite a lot on Power here, despite Power taking the feature race win. But Tim Ellis, meanwhile, coming up to the last couple of corners now. And Tim Ellis, who has been a very familiar character in Missed Apex Motorsport community from the very first race we ever run, comes out of the final corner now and takes his first victory of the season in the final race at Spa. It's his second victory in the F3 Cup, as Alex Smith takes his second podium in the series as well, with Alexander Dobbsberger completing the podium, another podium to his name. And Chris, I believe we can speak to our race winner.
Yeah, we're joined by Tim Ellis in the booth. Tim, what a fantastic race. You had to work hard for that one.
Hello. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it was pretty tough. I knew if I could get in front, it's really difficult to break the toe. If I could, I'd have a chance. But then you've got to not make a single mistake in case he gets back into the toe. So it was, I couldn't have concentration lapse for the whole race.
Absolutely, it was almost qualifying all the way through. And you had Dobbsberger and Drillsma who were working their way through the pack. How important was it for you to get out in front early and build that lead?
Yeah, it was really, really important. We didn't want to be squabbling because, exactly as you say, with Dobbsberger and Drillsma waiting in the wings, if we'd fought each other, we'd have been easy meat. So, yeah, it worked out pretty well in the end.
Fantastic. Well, it's great to see the blue and yellow on the top step of the podium once again. So enjoy your moment.
Thank you very much.
Second victory in the championship for Tim Ellis there, and that's going to be a popular result among the team there, I think. And we've seen him at all sorts of events. We've seen him not just in the F3 Cup, but the old Formula Renault Challenge as well. We've seen him at our karting events. We saw him in the Marlin Memorial Cup this time last year as well. It's fair to say he enjoys these events.
Very fast figure, very popular guy. It's great to see him getting the results that he deserves.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at the results then from the final race of the night. It's Tim Ellis with his first victory of the season, and Alex Smith with his second podium of the season and the silver class victory as well, with Alexander Dobbsberger completing the podium ahead of Alex Johnsma and Danny Henny, who hasn't taken quite as many points away from Kyle Power as I think he would have wanted tonight, but he has at least eaten into that championship lead, with Callum McIntyre in sixth place on what has easily been his best night in the championship, with Stephen Williams just losing out on that battle for sixth place there, and John McClintock from pole position to eighth place, with Gregoire Gomez taking the gold class victory in ninth place overall ahead of Frick Smith, who completes the top 10. Kyle Power getting 13th place in the end. There's a bit of a Missed Apex trio there going on ahead of Spanners and Van Gien in 15th place. Taro Tylus in 19th place, not quite the point haul he would have been hoping for his championship challenge against Luke Power, but a couple of good results there in the end at least. Looking at the back of the field, of course, we had Luca Harrison with a big contact in the middle of the race. He was the high-profile DNF from this race, and it could well be the end of his championship hopes there, down in 40th place. That is all from Spa-Francorchamps and all from round 4. We will see you again on February 25th for the penultimate round of the season from the Circuit of the Americas. My thanks go to Sam Watley and Richard Molden, the admins of this championship, to Steve Amy for the brilliant pictures you have been seeing tonight. Chris, thank you for joining me in the commentary box, and we will see you all next month.